What's up, family? Welcome to Mini Bytes session 72, and today's topic is the rescuer. My name is Erin McCluskey. I'm a mindset and performance coach. I work with leaders who are looking to redefine their personal and professional definitions of success. Please be on the lookout for an invitation to my upcoming workshop, the live event, Redefining Success, addressing professional and personal isolation, to be held on October 11th at Villanova University. If you are in the area, it will be great to have you join us. And you can also find more information on Eventbrite. So, all right, the rescuer. This is a topic that, well, like all of the topics I bring up on the Mini Bytes, are very near and dear, is a very near and dear topic to my heart. So, the topic of the rescuer. I was reminded yesterday that I am not here to rescue people. I was reminded yesterday that I am not here to be responsible for anyone else. But I got to tell you, sometimes it's really hard to put that into practice. It's one thing to say, okay, that's right, this is not my place to step in or intervene. I was told once, not all that long ago, in the last 5-6 years, by a healer practitioner, a very wonderful healer practitioner, that sometimes when we try to come in and rescue or fix, we're actually putting a wedge in the vortex of healing for someone else. And this is something that is so profound, I have trouble capturing it myself with words, because it's so near and dear to my heart, because I do have a history of trying to rescue and fix. I do have a history of trying to be sort of the rock. And there are reasons for this. It's sort of overcompensation for certain things that I felt guilty about in my life, and even shameful at some points, trying to sort of fix that or address that by showing up and rescuing. But it's also my nature. It's my nature to have concern for others and to even sometimes worry, which I do my very best not to. And yesterday, there was an event, a series of events that were triggered that had me respond. I went into fight or flight mode, which, you know, those of you who have worked with me or have listened to other Mini Bytes know that fight or flight mode, although very necessary, we find ourselves in it all too often anymore. We are not being chased by saber-toothed tigers anymore, and we are experiencing different types of stresses that are totally valid. But if we're not learning that pause between the stress events, it can really impact our performance. And so I was triggered, and my response was to enter into fight or flight mode. I was not in fight or flight mode. I actually could say I had been in fight or flight mode probably for the previous 12 to 14 hours. So my body was really starting to sort of break down, and my ability to think clearly and think with clarity was sort of dwindling. And it arrived at a point where I found myself totally in the reaction mode. I was putting out a fire, or so I thought. I was in crisis mode, a place that I'm very familiar with as it relates to this particular challenge. And it took somebody else later on to say, hey, what are you doing? There you go again. And I was so great. I'm so grateful to have this person in my life. I want to digress for a moment and say, if you do not have someone in your life who's going to tell you the truth, even if and when it hurts, from a place of love, I invite you to set that intention that that person is brought into your life at this time. And in fact, it's probably a good idea to have more than one, but you don't want to have too many, because that can also maybe be a bit overwhelming, especially if each person has something different to identify. But having that person that you can go to, and you know they're going to give you that feedback in a non-judging way, because we all deserve that. We all deserve to not be judged and to not judge others. So somebody who's going to give you that feedback in a non-judging way and from a place of love. So this individual reminded me yesterday that in fact I was doing it again, which was trying to be a wedge in the vortex of somebody else's healing. I didn't want to see this person suffer. I was worried about this person's safety. And really, at the end of the day, none of it was my responsibility, but I stepped in, and it actually stressed my body so much that it ended up it's really carried into today, to be perfectly honest. I've been sort of in recovery, but not, because I've also been working and I've been remaining active for the last 24 hours. But when we look at what happens when we find ourselves in any toxic situation where, and when I say toxic, it's a situation where we can feel threatened, or we feel that somebody else is feeling threatened, and we go into fight or flight mode, and the adrenaline kicks in and the cortisol is released, and we do the work. It takes time. And so I want to call that attention to myself in this mini bites, how it's taking time for me to recover from this event where I, tried to step in and be the rescuer. So I just want to wrap up with this, because I spent a lot of time talking about sort of the negative aspects, not negative, but the, really the disadvantages of being the rescuer. My point with all of this is know when to step in and know when to step out. This is my reminder for the day. Know when I'm being asked for help and when I'm not. And sometimes we're going to be helping people that aren't asking for it, but they need it. But really having those boundaries around when is it time for me to get involved and when is it time for me to allow the process to continue on its own. So I'm grateful for this gentle reminder today, and I'm going to take extra good care of myself tonight and do some extra self-care so that I can continue to recover. Love you all. Until the next time.